Let me tell you something. Day 10 was truly a breakthrough. No more wobbles, and I'll tell you how I was able to overcome my leg wobbles and foot fatigue. Before I get into that, I'll tell you that this day started off as a disappointment. I tried to go to Waterton Canyon, which is one of my favorite parks to bike and to go for a walk. And you can watch in my previous video why I was denied access with my Onewheel. I'll put a link down below. Fortunately, I found an awesome place for beginners to ride in Chatsfield State Park, which is really close. This place is a beginner one-wheeler's paradise because it's not crowded at all. On the day I went, the morning I went, there was hardly anyone there. The roads are smooth, nicely paved. The scenery is beautiful. And on this morning, it was a nice, cool summer morning, a relief from the heat that we've been experiencing. Because I had the park all to myself, I decided to practice carving. And I guess I should call this baby carving because I'm not doing the deep carves that you see on the Onewheel website. Instead, I'm doing these little mini carves. But you'll see towards the end of the video that I'll get the hang of it. I found that by shifting my weight ever so slightly, I was able to get a nice little carve motion, and that actually led to a lot less foot fatigue than I had ever experienced before on my long runs. And so that got me thinking, why would the carving decrease my foot fatigue? And I think the reason is because when you carve, you're constantly switching between different muscle groups in the legs to get that carving motion. So instead of standing rigid and only relying on one set of muscles while you go, the alternating muscle usage gives your muscles a chance to rest and recover, and it actually distributes the work amongst the different muscle groups in your legs. That leads to less foot fatigue, and that ultimately leads to a decreased tendency to wobble. So this was my longest ride to date, 6 miles, and I felt really good. There was hardly any foot fatigue and very little wobbling, and I believe it was because of the carving. The carving led to increased stamina and endurance, and that led to less wobble. And because of that, this day was the best day ever riding my Onewheel. It was a joy to ride. I didn't have to worry about distractions, achy feet, wobbly legs, or near fall experiences. I felt much more comfortable and relaxed on the Onewheel, and it was a great experience. So my beginner tip for all of you is that once you've mastered stopping and getting off or dismounting your Onewheel, the next step is turning. And that same turning motion, I think, is what you can use to get started with carving. And so instead of going for speed, which most people would naturally think would be the next level in Onewheel riding after you've learned how to stop and get off the Onewheel, most people would think, let's see how fast I can go. I think instead of that, because going for speed is what will lead to serious injury, I think turning and carving should be the next level in Onewheel training. So I say save the speed for later, focus on your turning skills. That'll ultimately translate to carving skills, which, at least for me, once I started carving, led to the best day ever on the Onewheel. If you find my videos helpful, please like and subscribe. That's motivation for me to continue to make these video logs and document my experiences and share with you some tips that I've learned. If you're an experienced rider, I'd love to hear your thoughts and your tips on how to carve like a pro. Thanks for watching.